much of them, you know, since then. But now the action's going to begin here as we're going to be kicking it off with Huddle, the player who I believe is going to be the X factor in this matchup. If he plays, you know, to the way that I know that he's capable of playing, you could very well see Vex come away with this victory. But then again, though, looking at Envy, I mean, you have so many great players on that team.
Yeah, there's a ton of talent there. For those of you at home that are watching what Huddle just did there off the break, you have 15 seconds if you don't shoot a gun to change your class. So he rushed with the lightweight marathon SMG to get the positioning and then changed to an AR to get there quicker.
Now, why not just, you know, for those who may be wondering, why not just, you know, use a pistol with that one? You know, like use a pistol as a secondary. You
know, you could. That's always an option. But at the same time, that's one extra point that's taking away from your possible classes. And 1 point in this game, you know, a nade, a stun, or ready up. All of those are huge to have, especially off the break.
Yeah, because I've been hearing people like kind of talk about that, like, you know, just seeing a lot of more players using pistol with the Remington, just trying to get to places quicker. But I kind of agree with that, you know, early run there, and he ended up winning red, so that worked out well for him. Huddle has not been taken out yet. He's currently going to be 3-0. We're going to stick with him until he gets dropped, because you got two members of Envy that are going to be pushing up here bottom beer, but Huddle is just in a bad spot.
Yeah, especially with an AR, you want to try to keep your distance, play to your long-range gunfights versus the SMGs.
Oh,
you see right there, he's up way too close to that SMG. It's just going to be able to destroy him there. It's a huge 3 down by Envy there. Big plays by Pluto.
And you have a lot of, you know, experience with the Envy organization, but not necessarily this roster. Obviously, Merc, you know very well from your time of being the Envy coach. But what could you say, like, kind of helped you out in that experience there, just being able to like break down the game a little bit better as a player close as well?
Yeah, I think that my biggest strength I got out of it was I always had good game knowledge, but I learned to really teach the game and explain it. And especially teaming with younger teammates now, such as Tatch and Miyagi, I've learned to help explain the game and explain why things need to be done, so it doesn't seem like I'm just talking for no reason.
Gotcha. Let's go ahead and jump over to Envy here. They just got, I mean, they're lighting up here. I mean,
yeah, that's a huge 3-piece there. When they get that B-dom, you see they're fighting for red control. Red control is everything on this map. When you have that building, you have eyes right over the line of sight by B, and you really control the spawns well.
Yeah, Nameless getting a double kill there, going over to Studdy, who he his name is Sniper Stud, and it's actually quite funny because the sniper, he's just so confident in it. You know, he busts it out all the time in Search and Destroy. One of the only players I see that really does it consistently, which is, you know, quite a joy to see. The sniper play is always fun to watch.
Definitely, and it's extremely valuable to have. You know, the biggest thing, you hit the nail right on the head there, is the confidence with it. Yeah. You need to be able to take those shots that other people are afraid to and, you know, want to have their SMG or their AR out for, and he really utilizes it to the best of its ability. Getting first blood in S&D, especially in this game, is everything. So when you have a talented sniper like that, it's great to have around.
Now, you have some experience, kind of, sort of, with Parasite. If I'm correct, you guys were actually supposed to be a team together, right?
Yeah, we were looking to be the team a little bit. I subbed for them throughout the online season 1, and then I teamed with him at PAX.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You did team. So there was no. I thought there was a plan for to have you guys join Parasite.
There was for a little bit. But there was that was a crazy week. A lot of different plans happened within.
But what is it about Parasite though that you say, you know, him joining this Envy squad, he just really brings to the table?
You know, he really brings more slaying power, and in this game, while numbers might not need everything, it's all about making those clutch 2 and 3 pieces around B-dom, domination. And he is just able to bring that explosiveness to the team that's really needed. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they're doing really well so far, but over the long term, how they do without Rambo, without a Parasite. Rambo gets a lot of crap for, you know, not having the best gun skill, things like that. And it's really similar to my teammate Croster, where the people on the outside don't see much, but there's a lot of in-game leadership, strategy, things they do, you know, the intangibles that a lot of people don't recognize.
Yeah, that's right, and, you know, sometimes the intangibles are way out, you know, the tangibles there. So let's see what Parasite can do here with that. Remington, but he's going to get taken out 64-65 right now. Very close game as B-Flag is going to be neutralized here. Studdy trying to make something happen. There's going to be 2 members of Vex actually pushing up, and if you see there, you have pretty much an even spread for Vex across 3 players, but Slack struggling just a tad. On the other side, though, great slaying prowess out of Envy, but this game is still so close.
Yeah, and what happened right there when Envy got 3 dead, Studdy had a really smart play, just left the flag neutral, not trying to do anything crazy. 1 point in dom, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I would say that, but we lost the optic by 1 point yesterday, so it kind of is.
But I understand the mentality of it, too, because it's like this is only the first half, you know? And
of course
you want to go after that lead, but if it's going to sacrifice giving up positioning, I can understand that as well. There's numerous ways that you can approach a situation, and again, that was just a great play out of the young gun Study. But now Study finding one player in front of him, he's going to wait for someone to creep around the corner, but that's not going to matter all that much as time dwindles down. EnVy and Vex will pretty much be neck and neck here as EnVy takes a 1-point lead going into the second half.
And as you see right there, Slacked with 6 and 12, really picked it up, got that nice 3-piece at the end, keep them off B. Especially on a map like Freight, B-Dom is so important to have, and it's so hard to get that it's almost better sometimes to play for the other team to not get it rather than to play for you to get it and just wait till
play this one. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Study, or with Parasite. Sorry about that. Who, of course, Parasite, the new pickup here for EnVy, has certainly been working out very well for him. A lot of people were wondering why would they pick up Parasite. It was like he has a lot of doubters, and he's a great player. He's always been a great player for me, especially back in those Farico Impact days. And none of that's really changed, He just brings a lot to the table for this end.
Yeah, he certainly does. And the biggest thing, you cannot teach winners. And he knows how to win. That's a characteristic that a lot of people take for granted. A lot of people look at stats and they're never worrying about the one stat that matters, not what's in the win column.
Yeah, well, that's very true. That's actually a really good observation there. But now Merc, he's going to be up top here 0-3, just trying to see if he can find someone. And find someone bottom here, putting down some shots. Knowing that he could potentially be white, he will make that call up. But there you can see Oracle mode. You got players pushing up now. Merc does identify him, and we'll go ahead and leave Merc for the time being, see what's going on with Parasite, who's going to be red 3, does find one player, but not able to get that angle.
So what you're seeing here, off the break, EnVy always runs, Parasite and Merc will run ARs off the break, because especially when there's no map control, these long line of sights are everything at beat down. But as soon as the team gets control, we're most likely going to see Merc pull out an MTAR.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see if Merc actually did that, and he pulled out a Vector.
Okay.
So yes, you were right about that. He ended up pulling out the SMG. He needs to be careful though as he gets up right on top of the red train. He gets picked off, and then finding another one that's going to be Study. He gets picked up with a
teammate there by Parasite.
Come on, Parasite. Come on, dude. Don't kill your team like that. But of course, things happen. Mistakes are in fact made, but it seems like they are going to get the flip there, Vex. And if Merc could not do it there, that's going to be unfortunate. But Nameless
Parasite with another team kill.
And 4 down here for EnVy as they are going to be playing in a bad spot. Look at Slack. This is the first time that we've really seen another team just get control of the map. Just look at that there. Look at the way.
And now, if you look at the mini-map, Slack's picking up those kills, but the other EnVy players, they're fighting for that red control. Some of them might start wrapping back for C to make sure they don't get 3-cap, but as I said, red is everything on the map, and that's where EnVy, with their experience and their knowledge, know that that's what they need to take to then get B-Dom.
Yeah, they're just going to get aggressive and push, end up winning that fight. So that's going to be 2 down, as a matter of fact. And it seems that Pluto and Slasher are going to kind of be stuck back crates, but a double kill there for Vex's Pluto, as he was able to take 2 out with that Semtex. Huddle with a clean up there on Study, and Merc going down to Huddle as well. So that's going to be a double, but nades flying everywhere. It is fast and frantic as lots of players are just going to try and push up in the mid. He may have 1 or 2 pushes on red, so they got to be careful about this one too. Pluto finding one on the left side there, bottom white, not going to be able to make the connection, but Slack will be there for the pickup, getting the double, no, as he gets taken out, and that was a good run for him.
One thing that a lot of players, even the best, a lot of the pros don't do it. When B's neutral like that, you need to utilize the 6 classes you have in game. You need to switch to a trophy class. A lot of players don't switch their classes mid-game, and it's huge. If you're getting stunned a lot, you need to pull out attack mass class. You need to play the meta of the game. And even some of the best players don't do that and or use it to the most effective way possible.
That's very true. And it's also because you're limited on the amount of classes that you actually can have. So it makes a lot of sense there too. Some players, they're going to think, oh, they're not going to run, like stuns or something like that. They'll probably end up running, smokes or, and not talking about just different situations. You just got to know your opponent, know who you're facing off against. And the advantage Vex has is, while they are playing in the COD League, there's not much more. They haven't played against them as much as let's say EnVy's played against.
Certainly, yeah, they're definitely a new team to the league, but as I said before, all these players are veterans. They've been around. They know what needs to be played.
That's true.
But the league really is great practice for all of us. Just when you play the same team 4 times within a month-long period, you learn a lot of the tendencies that each other has. Especially S&D, it gets really interesting because you obviously can't do the same thing every time in that.
Yeah, and so now looking here, and of course, these 2 teams are, and it's even beyond the league, just the experience as well, like you had mentioned. But Racine, V actually get flipped. Nate's flying in there as you were able to take out one with that. That was going to be Huddle connection there with Study. Huddle getting a double there as well. But on board with Pluto as he's just going to continue to push up and make something happen toward B. But he will have one member of EnVy there, and that's going to be Merc with a stop. Let's go ahead and jump on board with a handsome Merc.
You see right here, they're going to start getting aggressive on that crates. If they just hold this 2-cap, they're going to win here. So you see them playing the neutral at A, forcing the team to wrap back. They basically look like they're going to have this game in the bag unless anything crazy happens.
Yeah, I really don't see that being the case here. Pretty consistent gameplay out of EnVy. You have Parasite circling around. You have Merc finding one, and that's going to be a big win. And that's pretty much going to do it here as he's going to have a couple of points remaining, but that's going to be a close game. A 1-point lead here for Optic going into the half, and a 1-point victory for them in the second half. That's going to make it a 2-point win. Such a close game there, Mud Dog.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, when you see this high-level team plays, a lot of those Dom games come down to 1 or 2 points. As I said, you know, we had a loss today yesterday. I've seen a few of the other Doms go by that.
Matchup, not Optic, because I said Optic, my mistake. We have EnVy facing off against Vex and Slasher with that first pick there, as the bomb will be in the hands of Huddle, it seems like. So Huddle going to play the objective role here. Slasher with that first pick on Parasite.
Yeah, this is going to be, especially on a map like Octane where sniping is so important, it's going to be an interesting matchup to see Slasher versus Study with those snipers.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. But with that said, Study is going to get taken out, though, by Slack, leaving Merc by himself, 1v3. And let's see what he has in front of him. He's going to have one. Oh, what? Great plays, and he's going to take one out, knowing that the other one could be around there. That's going to be a double. Is he going to clutch it for the trip? Oh, get around that box there. He's going to fly out. He needs to be careful with this, but it just dodges as he charges forward, and Merc with the clutch.
What a 1v3
by Merc. What a game-changing play out of Merc. The momentum certainly has shifted. Look at Merc here with the poise as he plays right by that blue dump. Great play out of him.
You know, right there, that's a veteran play. A lot of players, when they see another player in the other team in front of them, they want to shoot right away. But what he did there, he waited patiently to see where other players were, and he saw that second guy right by the box. He was able to get to this 2-piece because of that patience.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players would have immediately went for the knife or for the shot as soon as they saw that player cross in front of their eyes. And he knew he was going to go for the bomb. I mean, but just the fact that they had no idea where Merc was insane. And, you know, he hung out there right by the dumpster, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what, he's not going to challenge him blue dump. Like, you don't even challenge someone blue dump on blitz.
Right. I was really surprised by that play of, I believe it was Pluto, the last one alive there. That head glitch is so hard to shoot people off of.
It's a challenging position, but let's see what's going on here on the attack. Merc getting hit markers. That's going to be 2 hit markers from there. That player is going to be full red, having a backup, but that will be an assist there, and he got an assist for most of that, so he did get a lot of kills on that. Nameless pushing up 2. He picks up 1. That's going to leave Slacked by himself. Looking around, he doesn't see anyone. He would have peeked, but never mind.
There's that sniper by Study we were talking about.
Nice play out of Study. Look at this one here. Makes his way over to the broken Humvee and right there. Right,
you know, again, we see that confidence you're talking about. I know it's a 3v1, but he's sprinting across to get broken control with that sniper there out. You know, it's a play that a lot of players would be too timid to make.
Yeah, he knows that he's gonna, you know, have that position there. And let's see what's going on. So, bunch of ARs. Study, he has a sniper. That's why I like watching Study. He is so committed to this. And anyone who tries to push out and challenge him, you know, like he will punish you if you're reckless.
Yeah, we actually in the All-Star match at PAX, we agreed to play 4v4 all snipers on this map on Octane, and Study just completely dominated it. You know, he's one of the top 3 snipers in the game, no questions.
I could totally. So who would be your top 3? Like who would you say right now is like head and shoulders above the rest?
Top 3 snipers, I would probably say Study, Karma, and I guess the third I'd give to Clayster. He's a really talented sniper. A lot of people don't realize that in his game, but he's.
I actually would based off of what we saw in that SB matchup, and I've seen Krim do some disgusting things. Like I mean, it's not, he doesn't default to the sniper, you know. But I agree with that top 3. I would probably put, you know, Krim in there, maybe over Clay.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly argue that Krim is one of the top players in the game.
But that's like interchangeable depending on like what day of the week it is and how the weather is outside. You know, like I don't have a preference on that one. But yeah, I mean, without a doubt, you just have some incredible players who just know how to use a sniper right now in Ghost.
Definitely. There's a lot of players that aren't, you know, quote unquote known as top snipers that can snipe very well in this game. Sniping isn't too difficult, and especially with overkill, a lot of people will still like to throw that on if they're not trying to pick the people rushing.
Huddle's in a bad spot. He's asked to defend it, but that's not going to matter there, as Envy will be able to secure this. He was in a really, really bad position back on the staircase there, and that will wrap things up as Envy will go up 3-0 over Vex. Envy certainly looking great here after that clutch from Merc in the first round.
Yeah, right there. Huddle's in that 2v1. I know he's trying to kill time with the Bob going down, but you can never trap yourself in a place and just try to hope you can stay alive. You always have to be moving, forcing the other team to come find you. He just trapped himself and got 2v1
Well,
there.
it also seemed like what he wanted to do, or what he was hoping for, was, you know, that one player who put in shots would, like, dip back in, and then that would give him time to be able to, like, maybe run up the stairs or just get to like a better position. But you're right, he just pinned himself in there, and the angle that he had was just not good at all.
Yeah, and against a team that's as strong in search as Envy, you got to know that they're going to be playing their 2v1. They're going to be aggressive with their numbers. You know, they S&D in this game, a lot of it's just the situational plays,
yeah.
And all of these guys are able to make those plays at this level.
Yep, and there's going to be one player actually playing, you know, right in front of the B bomb site, but that smoke is going to go down, so that will be Merc with the plan. It's going to be about halfway there. Slasher with a stop on Study, but Slasher gets a triple. Is he going to get the ace? Oh my god.
One of those was actually on his
never
teammates.
Mind. He killed his teammate. I apologize. I didn't even see that. That's not good. That's not good at all, but Merc is going to take out Pluto now. Slasher on the attack here. Let's see if he's going to find one right behind this truck. Of course, he has no idea where he's there, but we know he's there thanks to Oracle mode. And Slasher creeping around the corner. Merc is going to be there for another pick, finding another. Oh, and Merc clutches it again with another 3v1. Incredible. He managed to he found one. He took out the second one behind him, but he got a kill before that as well. And just incredible plays out of him one more time.
Yeah, just his map knowledge, you know, right there. He didn't know that he was there, but he knew he was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get the sense of timing. You know when you need to check your back, and again, it's just a veteran play right there.
That's just great work now, Slasher with that snipe in hand. He wants to pick someone off of the cross. Oh man, the smoke just giving him just that little bit of cover there, and he did not see him cross. Maybe he caught a little bit but couldn't make it, so he probably made a call out instead. But it seems like this player did push up. Parasite's going to be there for the stop on Pluto, and that's going to neutralize him. And just look at the you know, KD there for Huddle, Slack, and Pluto. 1-4, 1-4, 1-5. I mean, if that doesn't tell the story, you know, I don't know what will.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you got three players with, you know, dropping one bombs in S&D, it's going to be an issue. What I really want to see here is with those young guys who are all struggling now, how are they going to bounce back? You know, they might not be able to bounce back in this game here, but when you're down 0-2 with your back against the wall, are you going to be able to step up, keep composure, and make the plays, or are you just going to turtle and get 3-0 quickly?
Yep, well, it seems like it's going to be 5-0 here as Envy is making quick work of Vex in this Octane Search and Destroy matchup. How would you do it? I mean, you have Miyagi and Attach on your team. Miyagi's a young player. We know that. Attach, how old is Attach again?
Attach is 17, Miyagi's 18.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're both young players. How would you go about, you know, doing this here and keeping everyone in the game?
You know, the biggest thing that we always just talk to them about is take everything, you know, one round at a time, one map at a time. You know, when we're playing Dom, we focus on that first minute. You don't have to focus on the first side. Focus on the break. You just, you break it down, keep composure, and you just worry about what you do in that life as a team. The big thing, especially when you're down, a lot of people slack on their communication a little bit.
Yeah.
And in this game, communication is so much more than calling out. You got to be talking about what your objective is as a team, what you're trying to do, bait and switch. That small talk, you know, you jump here, I'll shoot him this way. That's the advanced small talk and the communication that you need to succeed at the next level.
Yeah, I could certainly see that. And it was something that was missing for a little while, you know, in Search and Destroy, because, and the thing about Search and Destroy was it was something that, let's see, does he see him there? Yes, he does. He ends up picking him off. Great read there from him. But, you know, yeah, like back in, you know, like Black Ops 1 when I competed, Search and Destroy, you didn't have that. You couldn't really do that, and that separated the good and the bad teams. I know for a fact that my teams didn't do that. You know, it was about just like making call-outs and getting like a sight on someone. And then from there, it was like, all right, make the call-out, you know. It was more frantic, but now you start to see players just communicate a tad bit more.
Definitely. There's a lot of that small talk in S&D, and even more so in the Respawn games. You're really starting to see that elevate. If you ever do a listen in or anything with Complexity, they are the absolute best at it. There's a reason they're the best in the game, and it's because of their teamwork. In this game, there's not a huge individual skill gap, in my opinion, but there's a really large team skill gap, and we can obviously see that with Cole.
So Slack here is going to find one. Oh, wow. And just Study with that sniper again. Now Pluto is going to have to be stuck in a position where he has to clutch. He's 1-5 going up against Nameless, who has secretly become a monster in this game. Zeus has returned as he's 8-1. And then, you know, on the other side, you got Study, who's just picking people off with a sniper. And Nameless is going to be there for the pick, making it 9-1. And that is going to do it, folks. It's going to be a 6-0 sweep for Team Envy over Vex. 2-0 in the series count. Can they do this 3-0 on Blitz?
I think they're going to be able to pull out the 3-0 victory here, but as I said, I want to see how the Vex boys, especially the younger ones, can bounce back from a defeat such as 6-0, you know.
Because he's to the left as well. No, I actually just you know, a little anecdote. Jeff, when we got here, you know, we're setting up all the equipment and everything, and wait, Merc is going to go in there for the slide. That's going to be 1-0 already for Envy, as they're just looking great. But just to finish this out, you know, basically, Jeff is a reckless human being, and that, you know, for those of you guys who are in-house, that trust that you see, that those metal things in front, Jeff was on top of them, setting them up. So, you know, that just gives you how reckless he is and how passionate he is about UMG. So they think it him for making all this happen. But back to the action as we have Envy and Vex facing off against one another. Envy looking great with a 2-0. Vex struggling quite a bit. Blitz already sees 1 point in Envy's favor, courtesy of Merc. And now, talk to me about, you know, Blitz on Warhawk. Like, or yeah, talk to me about this map. Like, what is the approach? Obviously, I know it's about just plugging lanes and all that stuff, but you know, how do you guys go about playing it?
You know, one of the ways that we play Blitz was actually how Envy was playing. Yes, very smart play there. Envy played like this at regionals versus us actually, and it was one of the reasons they beat us. They run 4 subs. They're one of the first teams to do it, and I'm a firm believer in the philosophy of Blitz is playing it to win, you know, 30-27 rather than to win 4-3. Because even when you're in your base playing defense, you know, you can get a few shots at someone, they slide and they get the cap. You know, things happen around the flag. But if you're playing for the other team's base control, you take the game more in your control, and you can control the pace with the caps and everything. So Envy has these 4 subs. They're going to be really aggressive in general, and puts a lot of pressure on the other team.
But now, you know, you had mentioned that you see a lot of players, you know, like opting to do the goalie setup now, and that essentially is just, you know, playing for the goal, for your goal, for the defense. You know, is that necessarily like just wrong thinking, or is just preference at that point?
I don't think it's necessarily wrong thinking. You know, in any game mode, there's not necessarily right and wrong ways to do things. There's just better ways, and like that goalie role works on a map like Octane, where it's easier to defend around the flag. But on a map like this with the SMGs, there's so much cover around each of the flags, and it's more of like close range gunfights, that if you play that goalie role, you're kind of just like hurting your team, because, you know, even if you get a kill mid-map, by the time you're not moving, 5 seconds, they're back up in their base, it's like nothing happened. And that's why you'll see a lot of pro players say stats don't matter. Because if I run all the way down to your base and you kill me and I'm back up and you still haven't left it, nothing's changed.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense in that one. And taking a look, by the way, just want to mention Vex did manage to put one in there, and Study tried his best to get that one, but Parasite slides in, and he's going to be able to get that cap, making it 3-1 here. 2 minutes left in the first half of play. Let's see what's going to happen, of course, is it's 3-1 again, and let's see what Parasite can sneak by.
This map here is actually, I think, Parasite's best Blitz map. I played with him a lot at the Season 1 finals at PAX, and he's really strong on this map, understands when to be aggressive, when to be passive. And that's the other thing with the 4 subs. You really have the mobility, so when you do have to D up around your base, you can all 4 get back there. And the MTAR in this game can, you know, win a lot of those gunfights that an AR would be able to in other CODs.
So, all right. You know, obviously the MTAR has always just been regarded as the most versatile, but we're seeing that vector so much more now. Is it, you know, is it just a preference thing for you? Like, you know, what do you prefer when you're entering into these, you know, high, you know, just energy gunfights?
It certainly is a preference to a certain extent. On a map like this, I feel like the MTAR is a better option because of the lengthy gunfights, you know, the long-range ones on a lane-based map like this. The one thing I do like about the Vector is, since the red dot is favored by most players on it, if you're struggling on a map getting kills, if you pull up the Vector, you're kind of more inclined to pre-aim more with the red dot, so you're spending less and might be able to get some more kills. Great two-piece by Study there.
Yeah, just want to mention, I mean, there was a lot going on there right by that Envy home flag, and yet for some reason they could not tap it, and Study comes up big with it. Parasite just punches him in the face with a knife. and that just kills him right there. Finding another one as well as he continues to creep on forward toward the docks, knowing that this player could be circling around post. But with 28 seconds left on the clock there, Parasite, just such a smart player, letting, you know, just players pass by, but it seems like he's going to opt to go for the kills because he has teammates in front of him. This is a great play here out of Parasite.
See, what he's doing at that point there, he's just being a nuisance in the base, getting a kill, staying alive, letting his team push up, because he knows with 10 seconds left, Vex is going to be turtling in the base, trying to just make sure they don't get another cap. And he at least gives his teammates an opportunity to make a play.
Yep, and that was not going to be an attempted attack there for EnVy, as they do manage to get 3, so they're going to be up by 2 in this first half, but that last attack seemed like it had all the goings for it to be another cap for them. Not going to happen necessarily. Vex did a great job of defending that one. Nameless fought that as long as he possibly could and just could not make it through. So now we got to talk about some stats here going into the half. I mean, we have Merc 5 and 11, but with 1 cap, and you mentioned stats don't necessarily matter,
especially in a game like Blitz.
Yeah, but you know, in that case though, so then, yeah, you're gonna be sneaking around and all that stuff. Well, how close this game is, I mean. Can you say, like, perhaps that's the case? I mean, you know, just to pick your brain on this a little bit, right? I mean, obviously Merc has been struggling a tad bit. You know, of course you want to be able to win those gunfights, I would imagine.
Definitely. Obviously, gunfights are always going to be important. You really have to watch the game from the player's point of view to understand what type of, you know, what those stats mean, because especially in Blitz, a lot of times you're just letting people run past you so you can try to get a sneak cap. Of course. You could have a free kill, but you choose to play for the cap rather than the kill there. And then the other thing that's really huge in any game type of Call of Duty is baiting and switching, which is basically one person jumping out, the other person shoots something, you trade the kill. And sometimes it just works out where you're the one who's baiting a lot for your team.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
You know, I play Blitz with I'm like an OBJ role in Blitz too, and there's a lot of times where one of us is, you know, +5 with 5 caps, and the other one's like -10 with nothing, and so, you know, it just sometimes works out that way. Yeah. Sometimes it's going right for you, sometimes the other person's the one doing the baiting.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially, you know, when you put it like that with the bait and switches. I mean, you know, that's just classic Call of Duty right there. And, you know, you see that also with Halo, like games like Halo where you have, you know, the bait and switch too. But it seems like Merc is able to find one, and not the second. He's going to get some hit markers there over by the semi. Nameless now, on the other hand, he's going to try and see if he can send some nades out and get these players to drop back a little bit and give his teammates some time. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have an EnVy player who managed to make the gold cap happen. And that's going to be all 4 down here as EnVy is looking great. They're going to be rolling, and they will get full map control here.
You see on the mini-map right now, when they get 4 dead, right away, they're all picking up the lanes necessarily that they need to. They're all just holding the mid-map control. You really want to play the layers. You want to push the mid-map, kill the other team, then push up to their base. If you try to get too aggressive, you're just going to be picked by the guys waiting with their flag.
Interesting, interesting. So when you get that 4 down, you want to just focus more on mid, not necessarily spread out, you know, too much.
Well, in that situation, because the 4 down was in their base, you're not, by the time you even get to mid-map, they're going to be spawned up in their base. So you don't want to sprint thinking that they're just going to be letting you run to their base. They're going to be set up waiting for you.
Yeah, they're gonna turtle in there for a little bit and see if they can get 1 to 2 kills and then fight their way
out.
out.
At Call of Duty at this level, like the hardest part is the players know what you're thinking, basically, so you have to think essentially 2 steps ahead. Because there's a lot of times where you'll make a move, and then they'll make a move based on you knowing what happened.
Yeah, oh, wow, and Study.
Great shots by Study there.
Just went off there, absolutely demolishing that member of Vex. But EnVy is going to be 3 points, or actually 2 minutes away with a 3-point lead, finding themselves in the grand final here at UGC Elgato 20K. Fun fact, EnVy was in the finals last year as well. So, and they actually ended up winning the event. It was a much different EnVy team at that time, and UGC was a much different event back then. But still, you know, this event just seems to always favor EnVy for some odd reason.
You know, as I said, you can't keep winning. It's something that players like Merc, Parasite, they're going to be able to do. Nameless and Study are, you know, the quote-unquote young guns of the team, but they're really learning a lot quickly, and they're all great players.
Yeah, you always got to give credit where credit is due to, you know, like a guy like, you know, Study, who, you know, he's, you said he's young, but at the same time he's willing to just absorb knowledge. And I talk to him a lot too, like, you know, he's my son, right? I say this all the time. We come from the same neighborhood, and I always, like, you know, tell him, you know, man, like you just got to go to these guys like Merc, and you just need to listen to everything that he says, listen to everything that Nameless says. And now they have Parasite, same thing there as well, and it's just making him into a much better player now, which is awesome.
Yeah, one of Study's biggest strengths, which I've always considered one of my biggest and why I was able to get success pretty quickly, is he's just great at learning. And it sounds stupid, but if you can learn quickly and really take bits and pieces from other players' playstyles and turn it into your own, it's really going to be valuable.
Ooh, and it seems like they were going to try and make another cap happen there, but with 3 minutes or 35 seconds, I apologize, left on the clock, and it's going to be a score of 7-3. That is pretty much going to do it. It is mathematically impossible at this point for them to be able to come back into this. No one's going to be in a position to make a cap happen, and even then, so they do not have enough time because of that respawn with the goal. And Envy is going to find themselves in the UGC Elgato 20K Grand Finals here in Niagara Falls. I am so excited for those guys. They played incredible, 3-0ing Vex.
Yeah, they really played amazing there, and as you said, they're all great guys. The whole EnVy organization just filled with amazing people, so good to see them pull out the win there.
Congratulations to EnVy, man.
And we definitely got to give it up for Vex, too.
Yeah, that's right.
They got 3 out in the series, but they've been playing great all tournament, and they still the losers bracket, so they can make a run through that.
Yeah, Vex gave FaZe Black a run, you know, for their money. It was a pretty awesome matchup, and FaZe Black ended up, you know, losing that series. And actually, FaZe Black gave Vex a run for their money, but even then, it was just both teams. You never really knew where it was going to go from there. I mean, overall, it was